Hello everyone, you are warmly welcome to Child Health Matters with Dr. Aduma Odame. As you can see, I'm in my full work regalia. I have my stethoscope and I'm in my consulting room with the kids on the wall, the yellow bus behind me, and there's actually a bed also on top of the yellow bus. Someday later, I'll tell you why it's so important to have visuals like these in a consulting room, to have toys and how they help a child develop and how they help the brain of a child also develop. But you know, I'm going to leave that for another day. I'm not going to tell you about that today. Today we're going to talk about love. Yes, love. Because love is so important in helping a child to develop. You know, we recently had Mother's Day and we were all so grateful to our mothers for the love and care that they have shown to us over the years. I'd like to say a big thank you to my mother, Mrs. Elizabeth Junifuku, and to my mother-in-law, Mrs. Mary Odame, for the love and care that they have shown to us throughout the years. Now, why is love so important in the growth and development of a child? I could hardly say the word development, for the growth and development of a child. Love has many benefits to the growing child. It helps the child become more intelligent. It helps the child grow to be healthier. It helps the child become more well-adjusted. Less social deviant behaviors are seen in children who are loved and nurtured well as when they are growing up. I know somebody's probably asking, what is the science behind what you're saying, Adwa? Well, we all know that love releases the hormone, oxytocin. It's called the hormone of love in the bodies. So it actually does have a scientific basis. And we know that stress produces the hormone cortisol also in the bodies. And what the stress hormone does is that it sort of goes to affect the parts of the brain that are related to memory, retentiveness. So if you have a child who's so stressed out in the house because he's not being shown any love, he's always being yelled at, he's always being insulted, he's always being beaten, he's always having so much cortisol in his body, it ends up working on the areas of the mind that are related to memory and retentiveness. And guess what? This child will not do well in school. Not because, as in he's not intelligent, but all because of the toxic environment within which he is growing. This is science. Studies have actually shown that children who go through the stress of war and abuse and all that stuff actually have problems growing up, all because of what they went through as a child. You end up having these children becoming more aggressive. Now, this is not the good kind of aggression, as an aggression to succeed, but this is aggression in a bad way. Social deviant behavior in these children. These children grow up and they are not well-adjusted adults, all because of what they experienced in their childhood. So it is so important to show a lot of love and empathy and nurture and care to your growing child. I know many times we think that for us Africans, the fathers especially, right, showing love to a child is maybe seen as a sign of weakness. The child will begin to think of you as his co-equal, for want of a better phrase, as his co-equal. Child will not respect you and then things like that. But it isn't true. And parents who have shown a lot of love to their children as they are growing up can testify that it's not true that if you demonstrate love, your child will end up not respecting you. No, the opposite rather is what is true. So it's so important that parents show a lot of love to children. Now, it's not just parents who need to show love to children, but then one person said, and I can't even remember the name of the lady, right? But there's one person who said that for a child to grow up and be well adjusted, the child just needs one adult, at least one adult, who is totally devoted to this child, who cares about this child, who loves this child. If a child, even in a toxic environment, an abusive home, a war-torn environment, if a child, even in such an environment, has one person who is willing to do all these things, invest emotionally into the life of this child, then this child will be able to overcome the stressful environment in which he is growing up. So what does this mean? This means that as an adult, you don't have to biologically deliver a child to nurture the child to be celebrated on Mother's Day, right? But if as an adult, Sunday school teacher, class teacher, healthcare practitioner, you pay particular attention to a particular child, you nurture the child, you invest emotionally in the child, then you're going to be able to help this child overcome a lot of the toxic stress that he's going through. It's so important. I cannot overemphasize how important it is for us to love our children, but for us to show love. And note that loving also means discipline. But we'll talk about discipline and tough love on another episode of Child Health Matters. It's so important for us to love our children. It's so important for us to nurture them, for us to invest emotionally in our children. So I know someone is wondering, how then do we show love to our babies? So the little newborn babies, you can't show love to them by breastfeeding them. But breastfeeding is a whole new topic, right? But you can show love to the little newborn babies by breastfeeding them, by placing them skin to skin. Normally in the hospital, we place the baby skin to skin for 1 hour after delivery. But at home, you can continue the skin to skin. You can cuddle the baby, sing to the baby, talk to the baby, kiss the baby. All right, swaddle the baby, rock the baby in your arms. Don't allow your little baby to cry himself or herself to sleep. It's a no-no. Don't say that, oh, he's crying, he will stop. No. Hold the child, comfort the child, love the child. Let the child feel loved. This is what you need to do for a little baby. What do we do for toddlers? To make a toddler feel loved, you need to let the toddler have fun. Let's say that toddler have fun is not about expensive gifts and things like that. No. Letting a toddler have fun is all about playing games with the toddler. You know, sometimes the games that the toddlers want to play, they want to play the same game over and over and over again. Peekaboo, they want to play it over and over again. They hide, you hide, they hide, you hide, over and over. And you, the parent, you're tired. Work has been stressful. You are tired from work. You have to come and you have to cook. And little child wants to play peekaboo. But for the well-being of the child, for the child's development, it is important that you play that game. So, you know, drink some water, drink some water, gather some energy, and then get on the floor and then let's play with our children. Sometimes fathers may not want to roll on the floor with the little ones, but it's important to the growth of and development of the little child. Playing with the child is so important, playing games. Toddlers especially feel very secure when you're walking with them and you're holding them by the hand. It makes them feel very secure, it makes them feel loved. When you carry them, when you're singing with them, when they are babbling noises to you that don't make sense, but you're responding to them, it makes them feel loved, it makes them feel happy, and it helps them to survive and it helps them also to thrive. Did you know that baby monkeys can even die from lack of touch? Yes, touch is so important. It was some studies were done and they deprived baby monkeys of touch. And the baby monkeys didn't thrive, they didn't grow, they didn't gain weight, and some of them even died. Touch is so important. Love is so important for a growing or developing child. Now, as the child reaches that age where you know, you can begin to talk to the child can tell you about his day at school, 4-year-old, 5-year-old, he can tell you what happened in school, and he's going to recite a poem, a memory verse in church and things like that. When the child reaches this age or these ages, you need to show love for the child also by being there for the child. How can you be there for the child? Attending the child's functions, attending the child's programs. So child is having a program in school and maybe he's going to act in a drama. Even if he's going to act just as a lamb in the Christmas story, parents, I beg you, be there for the child. Go and sit at the front row and wave and let everybody know that you are proud that this is your child. Even if he's just acting as a donkey, even if he's just acting as a tree in the drama, be there. Let the child see that you are there for him, that you are cheering him on. When he's playing football, be there for him. Go and give him fans. Fathers, even Messi, Zidane, who I don't think plays football anymore, but even Messi, I can't even remember those people's names, but you cheer them on. Those people don't even know that you exist. Whether you live or you die, it doesn't matter to them. But yet you sit behind your flat screen and you cheer them on. And when they lose the match or they do, what do they call that thing, an own goal or whatever, you get so sad. Sometimes when they lose, you don't even eat that whole day, all because your team has lost. But then these people don't even care whether you live or you die. But to your child, it really matters that you are there cheering him on Like you are there saying, my child, you can make it, you can make it. And if he doesn't even make it, he misses the goal or something like that, you comfort him that you did well, you did well. Once you are there for your child, physically present at these events, it lets the child feel loved and he grows up to become a well-adjusted adult. In addition to this, let other events like birthdays, like Christmas, if you celebrate Christmas, like Easter, like any holiday, let those events also make them significant in the life of the child. Use those events to spend some time with your child. You know, sometimes it is difficult. I'll be honest with you. You work the whole week and then you get a holiday, first May. But you know, now even because of lockdown and restrictions, you're not even, every day is like a holiday to some people. But let's say it's during it's within normal times and you've been working the whole day, the whole week, you're tired, and you have first May to relax. This is a day that you just want to laze about in bed. You don't want to get up early, you just want to enjoy yourself in bed. But your child needs you to spend time with him during this day. You are tired, but as my mother would say, there's more sleep after death. When this child grows up, he's in his teens, he won't be needing you so much that you'll be there every holiday, taking him out, playing with him, and then things like that. Those days will be past. So let's make hay whilst the sun shines. Let's demonstrate the love to the children now that we are able and whilst they are little ones. And we can use this love demonstration to build a solid foundation for our children and for their future. How do you show love to teenagers? Now, you know, teenagers are a bit tricky. Some teenagers don't like to see you hug them in public and stuff. But one of my friends, a senior colleague actually, she says her teenage son, he loves it when she hugs him in public. And I said, wow, then that's one rare boy that you have there, because many of them don't. When they reach the teenage years, they are feeling too known, and you know, their swag and their lip stuff, and they're all over the place. But then you still can show love to them in the teenage years by now talking to them about events, talking to them about things that they have gone through. If it's a girl, she has a crush on a guy. If it's a guy, he has a crush on a girl. Talking to them about these things, laughing with them about these things, finding out about how their day went, who is their best friend, knowing your child. Sitting down with your child and with his friends sometimes. You don't have to stay and spend the whole time with them, otherwise they'll be stiff, will not be able to have fun. But at least spending some time with them, letting them know that indeed they are loved and then they are cherished. So I'll end today here and say that let's let our children feel loved. Let's hug them, let's kiss them, let's vocalize to them that, hey son, hey daughter, I love you and I love you a lot. Let no one in the world ever change your mind about the fact that I love you and I love you so much. Let's give our children this solid foundation of love. You don't need to have all the riches in the world. You don't need to be able to take your child out on expensive vacations and those things to show love. No matter how limited your budget is, believe you me, you can demonstrate love to the child. You don't need money to demonstrate love. Love is all about time, being involved in the child's life, investing emotionally into the life of the child. That is all there is to love. And you use this to build a solid foundation. And these children will grow up, and believe you me, they will make you proud. So let me end by saying Happy Mother's Day, belated though it may be, to Dr. Amanwa Chimbwa. She's like a mother to me. To Dr. Mrs. Planju, to Dr. Sego Moses, and all the other mothers out there. Let me not forget Reverend Mavis, one solid Christian mother. Let me say Happy Mother's Day belated, though it may be, to all of you. And remember that you don't have to have a biological child of your own to be a mother. Make sure that you find some child today, invest love into that child's life, and you will end up changing the narrative of that child's life. It doesn't matter that the child's parents are drunkards. It doesn't matter that the child's parents are drug addicts, armed robbers, whatever vice they may choose to have. It doesn't matter if the child is living or is growing up in a single parent's home. It doesn't matter. Take that child, invest love in the child's life, and you'll be amazed. You will change the whole narrative of that child's life. That child will forever thank you. That child will forever be grateful to you. So stay blessed. You can subscribe, because in our next session we'll be talking about a difficult topic, and that's child sexual abuse. It's not an easy topic at all, but it's something that we need to talk about. So subscribe, drop your comments in the comment section below if there's a topic that you really want us to talk about. If you have burning questions that you want me to address, just drop it in the comment section below. And stay blessed and love your kids. Bye-bye.